financial 10 commandments. Now, we are familiar with, we know from scripture about the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not have any false god. Thou shalt not, it's all we look at it often as the rules and the regulations. But here's the thing. Financial 10 commandments in our marriage relationship is helpful. It's a blessing. It's guidance. And I share this a lot of times with young couples. What I help them to see, what I remind them of, is simply that when it comes to money, because it is such a challenging topic, such a challenging area, it's good to know what the boundaries are. So, for instance, if my wife and I were to do this financial 10 commandments, hers would be something like, thou shalt not have late fees, right? Or thou shalt not pay your bills late. And, we give ourselves this information. This is why this tool is so effective, right? Because what you're doing is you're giving your husband or your wife, you're giving each other information and helping them to see that when it comes to these specific topics, these are going to be a problem for me. This is going to be a challenge. And so, we got married 20 years ago. This may not be something that happens as much nowadays, but back then, I didn't really worry too much, didn't mind too much about where I got money from. If I'm driving down the street and I need $10 and I see an ATM, I didn't care if it was my ATM or your ATM, wherever it was, I'd pull over and I would just go into that ATM. I didn't care about $2 late fee or the banking fees. Didn't matter much. I just needed what I needed, and I'd pull in, I'd get it. And so when we got married, I realized that this was a big issue for my wife. This is a big deal. Those $2, those $3, and she's right. She's right. Those things do add up. And so I kind of stopped doing that over the years. But in knowing that this was a hot button issue for my wife, it helped me to restructure. It helped me to look at things differently. And it gave me an understanding that when I do this, I'm causing a problem. When it comes to money, the more that we can spell out, the better off we're going to be. And so I encourage you to start to develop these financial 10 commandments. Let each other know what are the hot button issues. When it comes to money, these are my red lines. These are my issues that are of concern. These are my issues these are the things that are going to cause me a problem or cause us a problem. I don't like late fees. I don't like bills being late. I don't like starting a credit card and I don't know about it. Whatever those issues are, lay them out. I have on my website, elevateyourmarriage.com, right there at the top. I put this up for us just today. I'll leave it up for a couple of weeks. You can go right there to elevateyourmarriage.com. And there's a big orange button that says Financial 10 Commandments. If you hit that, you can download it and get all of this information so that you and your spouse in your marriage relationship can actually start to develop your own Financial 10 Commandments. And what I've learned is very rarely, in sharing this with couples, very rarely are there actually 10 things that a couple comes up with, but it might just be one or two. What you want to do is share that with each other because it might just help you from stumbling or tripping over this same issue for the next 5, 10 years, 15, 20 years. Let's cut to the chase. Let's be upfront. Let's say, when it comes to this area, this bothers me. This is a challenge. And rather than taking decades to figure out that, hey, every time I stop at the bank and pay that $2 late fee, or every time that I open up a credit card without talking to my spouse, it causes a big issue. Let's cut to the chase. Let's be upfront. Let's identify these things and save years of hardship when it comes to money in our marriage relationship. Let's just